Hey guys, Caesar here with the Easy DIY Tech. I have a BMW inline 6 here that I'm going to smoke test. Now this goes beyond the scope of a regular or most common DIY mechanics, as smoke machines are expensive and homemade smoke machines can sometimes be dangerous or just complicated to make. So this goes on just as more of like technical training for aspiring technicians for who are going to be using commercial smoke machines. Now these engines are common to have vacuum leaks, and that is what the smoke machine is used to diagnose, to find where the leak is and later on go ahead and fix. So we're going to cover the basics here of how you would go on and about and set everything up properly so you can smoke test it. Now first things first, we remove everything around the engine that prevents us from getting a good look at everything, so that we can see where the smoke is coming from. Now BMWs, they can leak up and around the valve cover area very often. Sometimes they crack. So we removed all the covers from the engine, we removed the cowl, and left the engine wide open there so we can see everything. Next thing is you're going to remove the intake box, which used to go right here. This one doesn't have any other hoses or accessories going to the intake box, so that's no big deal there. But some cars do have extra hoses going to the intake box that you would have to plug up so that we're not having any smoke escape through those. Next thing is you're going to plug the intake so that no smoke comes out of the intake. Now I have adapters for the crankcase here that I can just send smoke in through here, but not everybody has those. Not all smoke machines come with those. So another way to do it is to hook it up on the brake booster. If this is still a engine vacuum powered brake booster, you can remove the brake booster hose and just connect your vacuum right to it. Your smoke machine right to it. Most commercial smoke machines will have a leak test function with a flow meter on it. So first things first is so you don't waste any of your smoke liquid, we can go ahead and do a leak test function. As soon as you turn that on, it's going to start pressurizing the crankcase system, and the flow meter will at the beginning read real high because you're not having any pressure in there yet. That's eventually going to start dropping down. If it never drops down, it means you have a huge leak somewhere. But eventually it's going to get to a point where it won't drop down anymore or just get to zero. If it's at zero, that's perfect. You can't get any better than that. But anything below 10 on most flow meters should be fairly acceptable. You shouldn't have any misfires or anything, and below 10 you're not really gonna detect any smoke coming out of anywhere. So but above 10 you're probable to have misfires on European engines like these. If it's not a real finicky engine, like let's say a Nissan or a Chevy engine, you might not notice any issues until you go up above 20 on that flow meter. But right now we have it on this one. We are just at about under 10 on the flow meter, so we're probably not going to see any smoke when we turn it on, and there's not going to be any real vacuum leaks to cause any issues. But let's turn this leak test off. We're going to let the pressure out of here. We just let it out. Turn this guy back up, and we're going to fill it up with smoke. So that clicking you're hearing is actually the limit of the pressure, because it's not going to pressurize with all the shop air that we got, or else we're going to break something. So that's hitting its limit. I believe it's somewhere around like 15 or 20 psi. No, it's about 10 actually. 10 psi. And if we have any vacuum leaks anywhere, we should be seeing smoke coming out of it. So this one, there's no smoke coming out of this. But I'm going to create a leak for you here. So I remove the dipstick. We're actually getting oil flowing out of it because that goes all the way into the oil, but there's not a breather high enough for us to let smoke out. So let's remove this guy here so you guys can see the smoke coming out of it. There we go. There's our smoke right there. Cover this back up. We'll eventually get to hitting our pressure limit again. And that is the basics of doing a smoke test